Hi everyone, it's Rhea Swift at rheaswift.biz, and there's a new site coming up soon called rheaswifthealing.com. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the upcoming workshop, the Energy for Life workshop. If anyone's seen it on Facebook, I wanted to make another video that was a little shorter and more concise that you could share, and I'll put it on YouTube. Energy for Life workshop. It's a 2-day workshop, so it's the 27th and 28th of April. And then the following Sunday, we just do a little mini 3 hours just to make sure everybody's got it completely and can use it well. It's a very intense course, so I highly recommend that you just settle in and relax. I'm going to record it, and then I'll sell the recording. I'm not exactly sure how I'll do that yet, but I'll let you know. So this is the front of the book, just to give you an idea. It's called Energy for Life. And it's several people's body of work. It's mostly from Meher Baba's work. So Meher Baba was one of the first Indian sages to come over to the West. And I believe he was in the 50s and 60s. And several people studied with him. And then when he passed, they made a technology out of his work. And their website is called wayimmune.org, W-A-Y, immune, like your immune system.org. And what he taught them was that there are 12 non-physical bodies around the physical body. And those 12 bodies are where we pass information to each other. So 90% of our thoughts are not ours, but they're information from other people that are passed on this system of non-physical bodies or fields. One of those fields is the auric field that in their system, it's called the etheric body. In other systems, it's called something different. But this is there's more bodies to this work than I was aware of before. So the long and the short of it is that we pick up other people's thoughts that rub up against our immune system and weaken the immune system and can cause a bit of havoc in our lives because we end up thinking other people's thoughts. So 90% of our thoughts are not ours. That's a lot of thinking, right? That's a lot of thinking that we don't have to do. So for instance, if I go to the grocery store and I feel great when I walk in, but all of a sudden, bam, I get hit with something and my energy starts to go low. I start not to feel good. I start to worry. I'm afraid, whatever. I get angry. It's because I picked up somebody else's pathology. So viruses think, bacteria thinks, funguses think. Everything is a thought, right? So everything is based on thoughts. So the Creator had a thought, and we are that thought. The world is the thought. The universes are the thoughts. This is my understanding. So because everything is a thought, and everything moves on these fields of energy that we're all connected with and through, we pick up other people's thoughts, and we also pick up those thoughts are part of the collective consciousness, or what's called the noosphere. So we don't just think our thoughts, which can be a problem. It makes life confusing. It makes you and me confused. So the workbook is mostly about that. We want to make sure that everybody's in their body. Most people are not 100% in their physical bodies. Most people are 65% in their physical bodies. And it's hard to be grounded, and it's hard to have force and strength and verve, if you will, in life if you are not 100% in your physical body. Even medicine is now starting to realize that part of the reason some people don't heal is because they're not 100% in their physical body. So that's huge. So the workbook, like I said, is mostly from Immunix or Way Immune. And I'm just going to go through it quickly and give you an idea of what's in it. So the first thing we want to do when we get together is we're going to make sure that you know how to muscle test. And I'm going to send out a PDF, just a 2-page thing, to help you be a better muscle tester. You can also go on my YouTube channel, which is under my name, Rhea, R-I-A, Swift, S-W-I-F-T. And you'll find 2 little videos on muscle testing. And you might already know how to muscle test. Just check them out. There might be something that you're not aware of. Okay, so that's that. So muscle testing we do first. And then we make sure everybody's centered and grounded. So this is Dr. Cam Yoon's work. He is a Korean chiropractor, and he figured out that the body, there's switches on our body that are either off or on. So he turns them on. That's his work, and this is from his work. So I studied with one of his trainers whose work is called Into the Moment. You can find that online as well. So we're going to correct everybody's intuition and just see if this affects you. We're going to correct your emptiness. We're going to correct you being awake. We're going to correct your patience. We're going to correct unafraid to make mistakes. We're going to correct able to learn from my mistakes. Correcting not easily discouraged. Correcting persistence and determination. So that is on. So you're always in the place of being persistent and determined. And correcting willing to help another. There's 18 of those. The next thing we do is make sure that you're positively lined up with yourself. So there's being stable, centered, balanced, deserving. And again, these are corrections. I'm me and only me, so we know that you're not processing somebody else. So you can pick up anything from anybody. You can also be carrying somebody. You can be carrying a dead relative. You can be carrying their organs. I mean, we are fluid and very complex, very complex. We're going to replace loss with love to 100%. We correct that. And then we work with the human energy field. Hang on a second. I got ahead of myself here. So then there's a page. I'm just taking you through the workbook itself. Then there's a page of general removal and clearing, which is what you do when you don't have time to go through the index and see if you need something. So just follow along and you'll get something out of this. I am free of all interferences. And you just wait to feel that shift. So this work makes you calm and clear and light and takes you out of the collective consciousness, which is pretty negative. So you end up not being in everybody else's stew, right? You don't get trapped in that stuff anymore. So I'm removing all pathologies from my 12 bodies. I'm putting up all my immunological shields. So we remove pathologies, they're very specific, and then we put up shields from those pathologies. I've worked with light, I've worked with geometric structures. None of them, in my opinion, are as good as this. This is very specific, which is what I like about it. Once you get good at this, you'll notice, oh, I picked up something, and the feeling state will tell you what it is. But that's only through practice, and you'll get it. You're like, oh, that was negative beingness, or that was somebody's trauma, or what have you. I'm activating and installing all my God connectors. I'm removing all malfunctions from all my chakras. I'm removing all malfunctions from all my meridians, and meridians connect the 12 bodies. So the way that they stay close to us is through these energetic, it's electrical impulses that bring them close together. And just like any part of you, you want all of you. You don't want your right arm over in the other room. That doesn't work. So I'm activating all 144 chakras. So we have 144 chakras that need to be on and activated and, powerful. And then we want we have 144 dimensions, so we want them cleared as well. So I am now on the right side of my highest possible dimension. So right as opposed to positive and negative. Then we work with the human energy field and the assemblage point. So here's what the assemblage point looks like. See the beam of light that goes through it? It coalesces in your heart chakra and then hangs on this. This is Dr. John Whale's work, Jonwhale. I think he's an engineer. I think he's a British engineer. But you can go to his, there's a lot of people talking about assemblage point, and he's the originator. He's the one who found it. Well, the first person to talk about it was Carlos Castellanos in his books. So they called it the shaman's blow, where the shaman would come up behind your back and pop on where the placement was of the assemblage point, and then grab that point and bring it back up into the heart chakra. So this, you're doing the same thing, but nobody's banging you on the back. So when your assemblage point is too high, you're in these states. I mean, you may not be hallucinating or delusional, but people that are, their assemblage points would be in the same place. The lower it is, the more depressed you are. This line at the bottom is suicide. So people who are that low are suicidal. You'll find people with suicide ideations have an assemblage point that's that low, and you just bring it back up. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. This is the chakra energizing and balancing sheet. So if you look down here, you'll see there's frequencies. These are the chakras. So you want your chakras to be in the frequency for your body type. Correct that. And then we look at negative interferences. There are many. So negative interferences are spirit attachments that need healing, but you don't heal them. You send them off to God. Deep-seated negative experiences, etc. There's many of them. There's a couple pages of them. And we heal them with love, because nothing can stay in that vibration. You know, love is just such a high vibration that anything lower than that leaves. So here's negative interferences, entities, I'm sorry. And then attachments. Interferences, vows, curses, promises, contracts, agreements with churches, ancestral agreements, helplessness, interference with God. The attachments can be earthbound spirits, dark force entities, ETs and aliens, congested astral matter, cording, elementals, soul fragments. There's many. I can't go through them all. But there's a lot of entities that people pick up. So when you're negative, you tap into negative. When you're anxious, you tap into negative. When you're angry, you tap into negative. And those beings, those energetic forms that feed off that stuff say, oh, good, now I can have more. And that it exacerbates your feeling and makes your situation worse. So you can feel bad, you take out the book, you find out what you have, you remove it, you feel good again. Simple. You have to spend time figuring it out. Then we work on the protocol for being in your body. So these are things that knock you out of healing. These are the blocks to healing. Reasons, a variety of reasons why you're not 100% in your physical body. So most of us are 65%. And the more you do this work, the more you get embodied. So it's things like I deserve to heal, it's safe to heal, I want to be healed, and you're negative on those, so we correct them. Our psychological reversal might be, I'll get hurt if I stay in my physical body. I'm not at 100% in it. I don't deserve to be 100% in it, etc. We want to clean all that stuff up so that you can heal. So there's no point in working on somebody if they have blocks to healing. It's not going to work. They keep coming back. It's frustrating. Then we check curses, inherited curses, unintentional curses, and intentional curses, and then ancestral curses. Then we look at geopathic stress. So geopathic stress are these things. That's the energy that's underneath your house or on your property. It could be on the property you grew up in and it's affected you then, and the effects stayed. So a good example would be worked with a family that got along, moved, and started to fight. We cleared the geopathic stress. They don't fight anymore. A house may not sell for that reason. It might attract the wrong people. There's a variety of things that can happen. These are the pathologies on this side, and these are the bodies. So what you learn to do is you check muscle test, which one of these do I have? So if you have bacteria, then you find out which one of the bodies it's on and remove it. Simple. It's so simple. So if you're sick, which is how I got to this work, I was really sick many years ago. January, February, March, I had a flu at the beginning of each month. And then I remembered the flu protocol on this website that I had just, bopped around on. You hit a link, you hit a link, you hit a link. And I went down to the computer, opened it up, and in 20 minutes, I was showered and in my car and going to a meeting an hour away. So, it's powerful stuff. All our illness lives on these external 12 bodies. Those external 12 bodies, sorry about the noise, creates whatever's going on in your body. So medicine works from here. We work from here first. We clear it from here, and then it goes from here. So if you, my mother died from lung cancer. So I checked to see if I had lung cancer, which I didn't, or the precursor to it, which I did. So I was carrying the potential to have lung cancer. So I found it on the 12 bodies. I removed it from the 12 bodies. No more worries. And if you have this book, you can find something before it actually manifests in your physical body. The next thing we look at are difficult cases. So these are, things that just don't go away. You cannot heal. The person doesn't seem available. They seem blank or blocked, or not in their body, whatever. You go through this list. There's about 55 of them, and then you clear what it is. So we don't know all the things that affect us. We can't even see them all. There's so much. But this helps you clear that stuff, and it helps you reintegrate the energetic structures that are not integrated, not connected to your body, like the God connectors are part of that. So some of these difficult cases could be the person is not 100% congruent. They're lying to you. They're lying to themselves. They don't want to be healed. They say they want to be healed. The client is, let's see, they don't value the process. If they don't respect the process, when you get people who talk through the whole thing, they're not going to absorb the healing. It doesn't work that way. They have to be present, right, for them to absorb it. So there might be lessons. They don't want to pay attention. They're misusing their power. They want more power. They're in avoidance or revenge. They're psychically experiencing another dimensional's problems. You have to work with the 24 DNA strands. There's several things. Then we've removed the pathologies, the blocks to healing, all the interferences, and the pathologies, and then we shield ourselves from those things that we removed, so we stop picking them up. That makes your immune system stronger. The other things make your immune system lower, weaker. These make them stronger. So there's many different things. So you can shield yourself from demonic and alien influences, hypnotic trances, which are really common. People are they blank out. You grow up with in a family where somebody was a math whiz and you're not. So every time you go to do math, you just can't think. You're gone. Or you go into a hypnotic trance when you're on stage or with a group of people or under pressure or somebody's challenging you. We want to look at all that stuff and clear all that stuff. And then we shield ourselves from those things. So next we look at destructive shields. And destructive shields are things that you are shielding yourself from in an adversarial way. So criticism, being put down, being judged. Somebody starts to say something that is reminiscent of your critical mom, and you're automatically ready to fight. Even though there is no fight there, and you can't figure out, why can't I just relax and let this stuff go? Well, that's one reason why. We study a little bit, you learn a little bit about pathologies, but when you're on their website, each pathology has like 2 pages. It's really deep stuff. And it's just, you can't get it all in 2 days. There's just too much. But you can certainly go on their website and look at all that. Then we look at all your immune dysfunction. So things that really tear the immune system down are things like attack, attention deficit disorder, avoidance, backbiting, arrogance, anxiety, saying, this attitude that I'm almost going to do something, accepting and using bad information, addictions, AIDS, cancer, being someone else's antibiotic, being their healer, their physician, their prima donna, etc. There's 6 pages of those. So we clear up the way the practice is that you find out what you have, you make a list, and you clear it, and for the next several days until it's gone. That's the practice with all of these things I'm mentioning. So I'm just going through the list of immune dysfunctions, and then we correct the meridians. Hang on, there's a page missing. Meridians are it's electricity that connects the 12 bodies. So several things can happen to them, and you just want to make sure that whatever they're clogged, they're not firing, they're under firing, they're missing, etc. You just fix all that stuff so that you don't even know you feel it, because you're used to feeling what you feel now. But when you correct them, you just feel more solid. So a very fast way to say it is, I'm bringing all my 12 bodies back to me now. And just feel more solid, stronger, more powerful. Then we look at the chakras. So the chakras can do things like they can be misshapen, they can malfunction, they can collapse, stretch, or stress. They can have a reverse spin or rotation. They can have missing parts. You want to find out which chakra they're on and then correct that. The chakras also have a point that they connect with into the spine. So you make sure that every one of your chakras is connected into its exact spot, into the spine, and you'll have more energy. So every time you get an energetic structure, either release it or you bring it back, the ones you're missing or the ones that are broken, you will have more energy. You know, it's just like having a door that's halfway open all the time. You lose heat. Close the door, the house stays nice and warm. So it's like that. We want to make sure that all the 144 chakras are corrected and activated and functioning well. So, for instance, the 65th, 66th, and 67th chakra relate to finances. So if they're not activated well, you can have problem with finances. So we work with that, and then we work up with the 144 dimensions, which can have either impairments or disabilities on them. And that's huge. I find that one of the most effective things to do in this work is to make sure that there's nothing going on in those dimensions. So we want to remove all disabilities from all 144 dimensions and remove all impairments from our 144 dimensions there. So I had an impairment on one of them. If I was doing it alone, I would muscle test myself to see where it is, and then I'd remove it. Then we install functions. So functions can be from foundational, they're basic, contact with reality, the bridge between yourself and your reality, and then you and spirit. So we want to make sure all that stuff is working well and that they're all installed. So some of them are clarity, coexistence, directing, framing of data, persuasion, responsibility, selfishness in a good way, structure creation, action, focus, interest, personality, pre-adaptation, acknowledgement, apology, pact creation, acumen, bonding, choice, creation of victory, being able to focus others, mastery, mission, reproduction. And then we look at the organs. So our organs can be our adversary or our allies. So all of them, right? Adrenal glands, bladder, kidney, gallbladder, etc. I'll give you for instance. So on the adrenal glands, hold, paranoia, muddled thinking, emotional instability, up and down, can't figure it out, unstable and muddled. You find out what's on the left adrenal, if anything, what's on the right adrenal, if anything, remove it, and then your ally, your organs are your allies. They work for you instead of working against you. We do that with all the organs. There's a full page of that. Then we do the God connectors. So the God connectors are, I think there's 13 of them, and they each have a different function. So the first one relates to manifesting, imagination, and intention. So you want to make sure that your God connectors are active, installed, and activated. So we're going to install and activate manifestation, imagination, and intention. And just notice how you feel. And then we're going to install and activate connection to and respect for the universe, humanity, and all living creatures, and intuition. That's the second one. And we're going to install and activate faith. That's the third one. So that's when it happens for me, I shift around like that a little bit. So then we're going to install and activate responsibility. That's the fourth one. Then we install and activate forgiveness, understanding, and completion. Install and activate form, rhythm, and order. Then we install and activate gratitude, which is we're grateful for our lessons. We're responsible for our lessons. And you wait till the shift is done and then you continue. Then we install and activate intention for God's truth, aligning with universe's positive powers. And we install and activate knowingness, renunciation, and healing. Next, we install and activate love. We install and activate strength and courage. We install and activate surrender and non-attachment. And we install and activate survival, persistence, and determination. Then we look at entropy and inertia. So entropy and inertia are densities, right? They're things that pull us down. So inertias create entropies. We make two lists of what we have, and then we clear them. And then you stop stopping yourself. So that takes some time. Then I teach you what I call we. There's more than one type of we. So we is EMDR and EFT together, so that you have a way of clearing whatever's going on for you, not feeling comfortable taking a test, having a hard time getting a new job. You track it back to the very first time you felt that way, that when you decided that that was an issue for you, wherever it's from, and then there's several statements we make to remove them and install something better. So that's we. And then we look at universal beliefs. There's many. We muscle test, what do you have? And then we can clear them in several ways. We is one way. Then we look at a list of addictions, agendas, anticipations, hypnotic trances, non-gratitudes, rationalizations for aberrant behaviors, tendency toward illness, and willlessnesses, things you are not willing to do. So for instance, what's an agenda? Let's see, do I have an agenda? Yes. So what's an agenda? I just listen. Not willing to complete something I'm not completing. So I'm going to remove the agenda of not willing to complete some project. Now I'll probably complete it, right? And I look, if I'm working on something specific, I will take it through the book. Procrastination, whatever it is. If I can't just say I'm removing procrastination, then there's something underneath that's creating my procrastination. So I look at that so that I can release it. Sorry, I'm unwinding my feet, my legs here. Then we have prayers that we do. There's 3 prayers. I think Immunix has more than 3, but for this book, I just put 3 in. The continuous cleansing prayer is one. The gravitational prayer is another. And then the noosphere. So the continuous cleansing prayer is a general statement of what we've done. So all my bodies are free of pathology, etc. I'm removing all disturbances from the emotional bodies of everyone in the world. So this work not only heals you, but it heals the collective, because you're working in those fields. I'm causing my career and those of the people I love to be what God intends. I'm attracting increased capacity in myself and my group to accept power infusions. My particle attributes are in balance and at full strength to succeed at God's work. The gravitational prayer is attracting what you need, attracting the right people, attracting the right situation. I'm attracting finances. I'm attracting structure. I'm attracting things that will support my mission, etc. The noosphere, which is my favorite, is I'm raising the noosphere to the 27th dimension out of the 3rd up high. So the collective consciousness gets a boost. I'm removing all pathologies from the noosphere. There. So what happens, that just cleared them all so that I am not going to pull from them anymore. I don't attract them. I'm not attached to them. They're not funneling into me. If I should have a bad day or a bad moment or whatever, I'm not tapping into the collective as well. I'm adjusting the chakras of the noosphere to be at full function. All the bodies of the noosphere are at full function. I'm removing the tendency to use biological weapons from the gravitational and spiral bodies of the noosphere. I am now asking the forgiveness of everyone I've ever harmed or will harm by not making, this is the Immunix thing, Immunix available to them faster. I'm merging my higher bodies with others who understand what we're doing. So if you're going to go into a meeting and you want it to be smooth and open and accepting, the first thing you do is say, I'm connecting my celestial body, which is your highest body, to everybody else's celestial body in the room. So I'm connecting my celestial body to everyone who's watching this. Why do you want to do this work? Because you will be calmer and quieter and clearer, more intuitive and more creative. And when people talk about waking up, what they're talking about is we have to remove our stuff so that we can open and become one with the current of now, of love, of God. We are to be the vessels of God. That's the point of humanity. That's when you heal. All the healing work that everybody does is mostly from their mind, and it doesn't heal you completely because we're not plugged into God. We're not plugged into that flow of energy, and that's what changes everything. So this is a step to help you to get to that place where you're more open and accepting of that and not doubting of it, but can get a sense of it and feel it. So let's just end by closing your eyes. Put your attention in your heart, the high heart, the chakra, not the organ, because the organ has stuff in it, feelings, emotions. So in your high heart, and allow and accept whatever is going on for you right now. Open your mind and bring in love, which looks like white light. Clean the mind. And then center it in the back, the rear of your heart. Bring that light into the rear of your heart and can resonate with love, with this present moment. Because that's all we got is right now. And everything works from right now. So when you forget about tomorrow, there isn't any, and forget about yesterday because that doesn't exist anymore. Whatever you need to do for your future shows up. Now you're clearer. I want to thank everybody for listening. Please share. So again, the workshop is the 27th and 28th of April this month, 2019, in Northampton, PA, in my studio space. The fee is $250. I dropped it from $350 because of short notice, and I just want people to get it and use it. It's really helpful. It's one of the best things we can do. Any work like this that you can do is going to help heal the world, because you can only heal you. You can only fix you. You can only align and resonate with God for you. You can only clean your stuff. You cannot fix anybody else. It doesn't work that way. And in families, when the mom and the dad are clean, the kids get clean. When the mom and the dad are healthy, the kids get healthy. It's never their fault, really. It isn't. They could be carrying ancestral stuff or their past life stuff, but you're the entrainer. They entrain to you. The third day of the workshop is the following Sunday, which is May 4th, I believe, from 2 to 5. So it's intense for the 27th and 28th. You practice for a week. You can practice with somebody that's in the workshop with you. And then on that following Sunday, we go everything. You can answer all your questions because you're not going to have questions right away, probably. It takes time to have good, peak your brain and practice something to have good questions. My website, again, is riaswift.biz. The new website is riaswifthealing.com. It's being built right now by a wonderful person. Thank you, wonderful person. I do private healing sessions, mostly over the phone. I do constellations here. I use expressive arts, drawing and moving, and the constellation. Very powerful. They get right to the core of the ancestral issue, whatever burden you're carrying from them. But most of my work now is over the phone, where my heart connects to your heart, and the heart chakras connecting. We each go to the soul and to God, and that opens us up into infinity. So everything that you need to work with shows up. And because I have 30 years of practice, all my work, I can do constellation work in that place. I can do shamanism in that place. I can work with all the tools that I have. And there are your team, my team. I see light beings that work on you. We just work in love, and it's fast, and it's permanent, and it works. And I will be teaching people that. That's my goal. So last point of interest is that we are doing something. I'm not exactly sure the name of it. It's Open Source Healing will be the name of the events. So I do know what it's called. We just figured that out. And it's going to be 3 days in nature, wherever you are. So we need people to help us build that group of people. So I will put out more information about that. If that's something that interests you, we'll be learning a variety of techniques to get us in our body. There'll be some movement. There'll be music. So we'll take breaks in drum and dance, and we're going to camp. So the Friday is for people who want to learn how to train the people that are coming Saturday and Sunday. So I'll train the teachers on Friday. It's a long day. We'll eat together. We'll bring food. I'll probably buy the food and bring it. And then Saturday and Sunday, other people will come that just want to participate. So the goal is to learn from the heart, from your heart to my heart, or my heart to your heart, hearts connecting. We heal you. We heal the community, whatever energy is still stuck on the community level, and then we heal whatever is stuck in the land. And that will help your part of the world. We're not healing the whole world. That's hard to do, and I don't know that it's appropriate to do that. I think each area has to take care of themselves, just like each person has to take care of themselves. This helps us raise the consciousness level of where we live. And then you can do it. You can do it with people. So thank you very much. You can reach me at riaswift@gmail, RIA, like SWIFT, or Facebook. My Facebook page is Open Source Healing. I think that's it. Text me at 484-767-4890, 484-767-4890. I'll be sending out a landing page for people to register soon. If you're interested in the workshop or the outside open source healing events, let me know. We'd love to have everybody on board. If you feel part of it, you feel you want to help move it forward, we need, different locations to collect the people. And we'll just do it through email. It's on the ground stuff. There's not a huge campaign. There's not a lot of money being spent here. And the fee will be reasonable. I haven't decided on a fee yet, but I want to thank you very much. Have a lovely day, and namaste.